This new book, Cycles, the Science of Periods, Why They Matter, and How They Nourish Each Phase, with recipes, self-care, and movement practices, by Amy J. Hammer, FNP, illustrated by Fatima Bravo. I got it because I have an issue where it's like I've started having such irregular menstrual cycles that I almost wonder if maybe I'm starting to have some menopause. Maybe I'm not sure if I'm like in premenopause. It was published in 2023, and I think that a lot of women and people who have menopause, not menopause, who menstruate, rather. People who menstruate. A lot of people who menstruate probably don't end up knowing or learning as much as maybe they could about their bodies, and as maybe would be good. And so I'm reading this book, and I have gotten through much of the beginning parts. I think it's interesting. It says in the introduction, not the introduction. Well, the introduction was really good, but it's the next part. So the interesting thing is, the author starts talking about why people who have menstrual cycles have their cycle. And apparently, this is an interesting part, but this isn't the main part I was talking about. It's only higher primates, like apes, bats, and elephant shrews, that of the whole animal kingdom, we are the ones who have the cyclical preparation of our bodies for having babies, is why people menstruate. I'm saying people because I read this section here where it is reminding us that because of trans people, and just like because people are so different and there's so many different types of people, that it's not just women who menstruate. And I keep saying menstruate. Menstruate's the right word, right? Ovulate, menstruate. Yeah, menstruate. Like, who have their menstrual cycle, who bleed. Let's see here. The interesting thing about this that I was learning is that evolutionary biologists have studied why we have this cycle. And something very interesting about it that I found is that it seems to be connected to the fact that when we carry babies, it really takes a lot out of us. They end up occupying our bodies and taking our nutrition, and so they end up depleting us of different things. I mean, we are preparing to have another human in our bodies, and so one reason that this author is saying that we have the menstrual cycle is so that we can determine whether or not we want to have babies. Because within the cycle, there are times like the luteal phase. Well, wait, hold on. I don't even know the phases very well. But, let's see here. I thought it was the luteal phase. I think so. Basically, there's a time in our cycle when we are unable to carry or have babies, so it makes it more selective. It gives us more of a choice. Because I guess, like, I mean, it's obvious that women weren't like deciding we're gonna have a period so that we can do this or that, but as we evolved, we did decide it. So I don't know, it's interesting. I wish that I could find the exact place in here that it was talking about that, actually. Hold on. Wow, on average throughout a lifetime, the endometrium cyclically sheds and regenerates around 400 to 450 times. That's referring to when the period happens. So that could happen 400 to 450 times for a woman or a person who had their menstrual cycle. Let's see here. There was this one part in here that, well, I'll show you the rest of the book, because I don't think that I'm going to be able to find that little bit. Evolving self-knowledge. The cycle in the brain. This is the next bit that I'm going to read. Eat, move, and self-love. I know that a lot of women, whatever they're going through, would really get a lot out of this book. And also anybody who needs to know about the menstrual cycle, even a student of any type studying. It's a good book. I'm glad I bought it. Let's see. Oh, there was a really interesting part that I read about where is it? When you are just getting to be alive, when you're just like an egg, in a sperm. Where is that thing? Oh, there it is. In the first few weeks of fetal development, we all look the same. Our bodies unfurl and sprout limb buds, and the brain develops into more complicated structure. The gonads, urged by genetic and hormones, undergo a complex transformation. Until sexual differentiation begins, a developing embryo has no hormonal or anatomic sex. So we all begin without hormonal or anatomic sex, just a genetic code. For example, XX or XY. for the first 5 to 6 weeks of gestation, only the X gene expresses in both genetic codes. The X expression is often simplified into the idea that all humans start off as females, but the X is neither male or female, meaning it is more accurate to say that all humans start off with undeveloped and undifferentiated gonads. After 5 to 6 weeks of gestation, the gonads may differentiate into testes or ovaries, while the external genitalia morph into penis or vagina. Or the external genitalia may be ambiguous, as they are in some cases in intersexuality. So it's really interesting that we all start the same. This is the section I most needed to read right here, but I'll probably update more on it as I read more, and I hope that anybody who is interested can find a copy of this book, because it's really interesting. Thanks for listening, and if you weren't interested in this, why'd you watch the whole darn thing? Some people don't like talking about such things, but I probably should have said something at the beginning.